Hello, and thank you for joining us today for a visionary approach to field service remote support with SightCall Vision. I am Carmela Fortin, Vice President of Demand Generation at SightCall, joining from Seattle, Washington, with David Swift, Vice President of Product Marketing, all the way from Boulder, Colorado, and Samuel Patterson, Product Marketing Manager in Paris, France. Sam and David, can you tell me about how reducing manual tasks is such an indirect contributor in delivering better service, and why is that?
Certainly. So in the world of field service today, there are a lot of tasks that a field technician has to undertake to complete a service order, whether that's filing the report at the end of their service order, or maybe it's just simple tasks that need to be done on site that they feel a customer could have done before their arrival. So what happens is their time to complete the service order really gets sucked up. And the less service orders you do, the less efficient your field service organization can be.
It fits in with this larger philosophy that we're seeing in the field service space currently around this idea of shifting left, where if you think about the range, the spectrum of different types of visits or like field service experiences based on the person that can handle it, the time and the complexity required to deal with it. When you think about like those level 0, those really simple ones versus level 3, where it's like, oh man, I better get a field service engineer here. What we're really seeing is that enterprises are trying to shift left. So move those 3s down to 2s, those 2s to 1s and 1s to 0s, such that they are able to really just save the time, resources, and energy of their on-site technicians for the problems that really merit them.
Yeah, and Carmela and
Go
Sam,
ahead.
if I can add, actually, for
Yeah.
a while I was a plumber's apprentice driving around in a van, and 90% of the service order requests that we had were to fix garbage disposals.
Oh, yeah.
And probably 95% of those were very easy fixes that a customer could have done on their own. By just using an Allen wrench key to loosen the blades at the bottom. And we as plumbers, we actually tape that Allen wrench key on the inside of the cabinet, right? And the other 5%, we did have to replace those garbage disposals and, wouldn't ask the customer to do that. But we could have been solving those things remotely through some sort of visual call and showing them where that Allen key was, telling them how to turn it and loosen the blades. But then again, there's also replacing the water heater, right? And that's a complex
Yeah.
process. We would go in there. That is not for a customer to do, right? So we
Mhm.
would go and spend hours ensuring that their water heater was connected properly and that everything was fixed in their home. So this can expand into a lot of different realms of field service beyond plumbing, right? So that's an MRI machine, right? We have a customer, GE Healthcare, and they have very complex equipment that they're working with today. And sometimes it's not a simple calibration on the software interface. Rather, they have to go in there and they have to fix a problem that needs their expertise. And that level of expertise is only found in that human component, right? But again, like you said, Sam, it's shifting left, right? How can we solve more complex problems? Because the problems are becoming more complex. And that's the reality of service today.
Just add with that MRI, like what if they were stuck doing something that a customer could have been doing themselves, and instead they had their list of orders for the day, and like they couldn't get to that MRI machine until later on. Like think about the device downtime, and think about the cascading complications that healthcare infrastructure is going to face as a result. Like the results are pretty clear here.
Yeah, they are. Well, this makes a lot of sense, David. I wish I knew that about the Allen wrench with the disposal. I probably would have saved me from my last replacement, which would be great. So can you tell me, while we're here, what are some examples of cost savings or improvements that you've seen from companies that are delivering great service and they don't have the constraints of physical proximity?
That's a fantastic question. I think we all know the big yellow trucks and yellow construction vehicles of Caterpillar. One of our customers, in fact, and they had a lot of elevated equipment downtime. Slow customer service, multiple site visits to fix the same machine issues, and just by adding that visual layer and context, in 1 month, over 1,500 of those diagnostics were completed remotely and successfully for a first-time intervention, and 150 of those machines were remotely started from that. So, having an accurate remote diagnostic is essential for Caterpillar, right? And
Yeah.
it's a big value add for them, right? I mean, putting in those massive machines back into service, that's big. And reducing that on-site intervention time just alone by up to 20% of cases, what that provides is just more hours to solve the complex problems. And there is a service gap, right? Where the problems are becoming more complex for the field service industry. And all of these field technicians and engineers are working to meet that expectation to solve complex problems. So the easy ones, we have to have a way to solve them efficiently.
Yeah.
If I could just add another one here, I enjoy that question as well, because it's one of the things that kind of blew my mind when I first came to SightCall, is that I'm sure you all have heard of NordicTrack and their interior brand iFit, which does a lot of home-based like personal fitness equipment. So we're thinking like treadmills or maybe like elliptical machines. And they've been with SightCall for some time now, because what they are able to do is, instead of sending a technician on site with so many different parts, because they don't know exactly what's going on, so they figure, all right, I better bring everything, is that now with that remote visual step, before they even send the technician on site, they know exactly what they're dealing with, and they know which parts to bring. And so it just really speeds up the process, both for individual consumers at home as well as those on-site technicians.
Yeah.
And so that's like that first step. But like a secondary one, which is even more like incredible to me, is that not only was this about helping solve those field service issues, but you're also, with iFit, they were seeing secondary, like cascading benefits, because now they have all of this data from the sum of their field service visits. They know, okay, I know this part isn't working, and I've seen that 5 other times in the last week. They now have the data to go back to their manufacturers and say, one, like, hey, this product line part was not working. We need to do some parts repairs, and like we need sendbacks on those. And then also you're getting data. All right, so we're also noticing that this isn't working. Let's figure out a way to resolve this issue, and then also put it onto our production line from the get-go. So we're continually optimizing and streamlining that manufacturing process. It's wild. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
It's just cascading benefits.
Well, I think that's helpful. Yeah.
That's my new phrase.
Yeah.
Cascading benefits. I like it. And those sendbacks are expensive. So
millions of dollars in savings a year for iFit NordicTrack. I mean, it is pretty wild. I mean, once you get down to it, and these benefits are real. The value is real for these companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, both in terms of revenues and expenses, but then also in terms of man hours saved, in terms of the amount of gas they're taking to go from place to place. You see it everywhere.
Gas prices are going up. Well, thank you, David and Sam. This has been helpful in highlighting industry leaders that are doing it right, offering best-in-class service by reducing manual tasks for their field service, using video for remote support. Again, I'm Carmela, and I encourage you to share how your team is changing the future of service, or if you'd like to discuss what your team currently uses. You can find me on LinkedIn or at SightCall.com in the chat. At SightCall, we're changing the future of service for your team and for your customers, using the power of sight to see, analyze, and guide with SightCall Vision. Thanks for joining us.